Blu-ray. It's like the cheapest one I could see on Amazon. So here you go. See? So it's kind of slow, 2 times speed for writing. Maybe because it's record, like you can reuse it over and over. Maybe that's why. So yeah, it says ideal for system backup, high volume data, audio, and 1080p HD video recording. Superior read-write performance, great for daily uses, compatible with most Blu-ray drives and recorders. Buy drive's latest firmware for best results. Drive's latest firmware. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna mess around with this. It has 10 discs. It has 10 of these. So I'm gonna test it out. 25 gigabytes. So, you know, most people probably don't care about physical storage, but I still do. I think, you know, just in case. This would be useful for backing up data. Just in, let's say your hard drive fails, or your external hard drive fails, and your, you know, everything fails. But discs, on the other hand, they're pretty doable because, you know, plastic is pretty hard. If you keep it in the storage in this, like, you know, like these, like this for example. If you keep it in one of this one like this, it'll you know, it'll last for a long time. So there you go. I'm gonna do some tests. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys how to write data on one of these. So, you know, I'm gonna use the Blu-ray, but you can use whatever you want. You can use a DVD or a blank, as long as it's a blank. So I'll show you guys how to store data on one of these. Doesn't matter, music, videos, pictures, whatever you want to store. Files, Microsoft documents, Excel, you know, whatever. PowerPoint data, you know, whatever you want to store on these things. But these you can erase these. So I'm gonna show you guys how it works. See, there's the disc, but you know, just in case. First, we gotta open this, the Blu-ray drive. Make sure it's capable of reading, you know, Blu-rays, and you know, just make sure that the drive that you're using is capable of reading these. So these can be erased. These are erasable. You can rewrite on it over and over. I think it says 1,000 times before it goes bad. So we're gonna write a file in here. Just put it in there and then close it. So this is basically a Blu-ray disc rewritable. That's what it's called. BDRE, rewritable. So here you're gonna see this thing pop up. This says like a USB flash drive, you can save, edit, and delete, but that's not gonna work though on, you know, the other type of files. This will work on computers running Windows XP or later live file system. That only works if the disk, I think, is erasable. But if it's one of these, for example, this one right here. See this one right here? This is verbatim. This one, oh crap. This disc right here can be deleted because it's you know, Blu-ray recordable. So it's permanent basically. Once you burn data onto this disc, it'll be permanent. You can't delete it anymore. It's permanent basically. So, you know, yeah, there's no way you can delete it unless you destroy the disc. But and then this one right here, see, you can see the difference. BDRE, you can record and delete, or save and delete, and then you can delete and then write new ones over. These ones, on the other hand, once you record, it's permanent. So BD-R is permanent. BDRE is ones that you can delete. You can burn, which basically burning files onto the disk. You know, the laser burns in there and then stored the laser burns the Blu-ray laser burns the data in there and then stores the data on the disk. This one, once it burns it, it's permanent, or once it records and saves it. This one you can erase. So let's go ahead. Now that I've explained that, okay, so those are the two different ones. It's easy to tell though. So BDRE is erasable, BD-R is non-erasable. See, BD-R, that's the difference. I mean, that's how you tell the difference. So okay, on the second one it says, with a CD DVD player, burn files in groups and individual files. Can't be edited or removed after burning. The disk will also work on most computers. So now we're gonna click next. And then this is the inside of the disk. Well, it's not the inside of the disk, but you can drag and drop files here. So I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do. Do the thing, here you go. I already opened up this from my computer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight all these like that. Oh, okay. Highlight all that. There you go. Now I've highlighted, and then I'm gonna drag all this file in here, as long as there's enough space. So each disk is about, see, that was quick. That was pretty quick. So each file is about, there's so much dust, is about 25 gigabytes. So make sure you can store no more than 25 gigs. But actually, see, once we've already dragged the file, so now we're only going to use this, so it's only 3.47 gigs, so that's plenty of room left. So we're going to go to this PC, and then see, it says you have files waiting to be burned. It's basically telling me that it's already in there. So now it says you have 22.5. So it says 25, but it's actually 22.5. There's, you know, I think the other 3 gigs is being used for something else. I don't know, it's just how these discs work for some reason. Like even the hard drive, like even though it says like for example, you got a 500 gig hard drive, it'll say something like this one, for example. This is 2 terabytes right here. Ah, jeez. Okay, come on, and there you go. So right here, for example, the storage D, that's 2 terabytes at least supposed to be, but it's only 1.81. So the other 0.20 whatever, 0.19 is being used for other stuff, I think. But you know, it's normal. It's just, you know, it's not gonna be perfectly exactly as they say. So you know, just, you know, letting you know, you guys know what that means. So now that we've dragged that, we're gonna right click on this. This is where it says BDRE drive. That's the Blu-ray drive basically. See, you can tell by the discs. That's how you tell that that's the CD that you put in there. If you put something else like DVD, it'll say DVD here. But since I put the BDRE, that's what it's gonna say. So we're gonna right click here, and then we're gonna, let's see, we're gonna click burn to disk. Burn to disk. And then right click that, and then you can put whatever title you want. It keeps getting blurry. There we go. You can put whatever you want, like if you want to put some, I'm just gonna leave it as it is, you know, video or something like that, whatever. Vid, oh, that's good enough. Vid, since it won't fit. So recording speed is 2 times, depends. I think the verbatim discs can go as fast as 16 times speed. That's basically how fast it writes data. So this is gonna be pretty slow. So yeah, new files being burned to the disk will replace any files already on the disk if they have the same name. That only works for, you know, discs that can be erased, but if it's a permanent, you can't. Once you burn it, you can't add any more in there either. So you know, make sure that, you know, you want to put as much files or data in there before you start burning. Then you click next, and there you go. So you know, before you click next, make sure you have everything or all the files you want to burn into that disk, because this is it. Just a warning for, you know, anyone using permanent disk. permanent Blu-ray discs or DVD discs or CDs. So yeah, so you know, it depends on what disc you're using. So this is gonna take quite a bit of time. It says burning the data files to the disk. So you know, it's just not as fast as a hard drive. When you're, oh, okay, so it's only 7 minutes. I guess it depends. I mean, you know, if you compare dragging and dropping files on a hard drive and a SSD or HDD and SSD, solid state drive and a hard disk drive, you know, you can just drag and drop and delete files anytime, you know. But a blank disk is another thing. That's, you know, it's just another form of storage, basically, you know. You know, it's a medium, you know. Normally when people talk about Blu-rays and DVD discs, for example, like this one right here. See, I got BD-R. That's basically, you know, it's only 4 gigs. See, it's smaller than the Blu-ray. 4.7 gigs, 120 minutes. So you know, you can buy either a DVD pack which only has 4.7 gigs. That's all you can store in there. But these BD-R is basically rewritable. If you buy the one that says DVD-R, that's permanent. That's how you tell the difference. So if you buy DVD-R and you burn or write files in there, you won't be able to delete it anymore. But these, on the other hand, RW, you can write and burn files in there, like, you know, whatever, videos, music, games. You can burn and delete. I mean, you can delete it again and then write new files in there. Okay, so back to where we were. So now I'm burning, you know, that's how you burn. But I'm gonna make another video topic on how to make a Blu-ray movie. That's another thing. Just, I wanna remind people that you can't, if you try putting this in a DVD, not DVD, but a Blu-ray player, you know, one of those Blu-ray players, it's not gonna work. So it has to be a certain format that's a little bit different. It's like an ISO file. You gotta make an ISO file for that. And then once you make the ISO file, you can even add menus, you know, and all that. So like, for example, I'm gonna take these videos and make a movie out of this, put them in the Blu-ray and show you guys in another video. But that's for another topic. I'm gonna be using a software, forget what it's called, but I'm gonna use that software to make a movie, you know, with menus and all that. You know, you can add chapters, you know, you can pretty much edit it. And then once the ISO file is created, you burn that file into that ISO file into the disk. You know, one of these, you can use one of these, or you can use this if you want. If you want it a permanent, so you don't have to worry about it getting deleted. There you go. So yeah, this is like a 50 pack. I think I bought one that has 50 discs. All of these are blank discs. These are blanks too, so you know, holds a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna show also other videos showing how to use. There's a lot of software you can use out there, you know, like DVD-RIP, Decryptor. I don't know. There's so many. See, for example, there's this one I'm using right now. Like, see, there you go. This is the one I'm gonna show you guys how to use. Video Solo DVD Creator. That's the one I'm gonna show you guys how to make a Blu-ray movie and a DVD movie. It basically, that software enables you to make, you know, movies out of every video you have. Whatever video you have, even if it's game videos like this that I did, I recorded these using OBS. Those are gameplay footage of you know, I was doing some playthroughs and editing stuff, so that's why I decided to record some footage. But you know, you can edit that, and then, you know, if you want to make a Blu-ray or DVD, whatever, or you can make homemade videos and just record yourself and then edit that into the you know, like a series of videos with, you know, and then use Video Solo DVD Creator to make a homemade movie, you know, starring you and your whatever friends and families and whatnot. You know, maybe I'll try to experiment later on in the future and make like an action movie or something. And maybe, you know, do like a, I don't know, choreograph something. I always want to make like a fight scene. I used to like when I was like a little kid. I used to imagine myself in an action movie, but that was when I was small. But you know, I've always wanted to make a choreographed fight scene at least. You know, just have some like 5 guys, work with me. Like some guys who would just if hire anybody like a friend or family, and then make a fight scene. Like even if it's cheesy and corny, at least I want to try it out. My attempt at editing a video and choreograph the fight scene. But that's something I want to do someday. But whatever. I mean, I'm not saying I want to be a director, but I'm just saying it's something I want to experiment with. And then I'm gonna put that in one of these Blu-ray discs, make it look like it's a movie. Because you can add wallpaper or pictures into the background of the, like the menu, like let's see, like when you put in when you put in a Blu-ray movie, and then you see the menu, right? Like the play, scenes, chapters, whatever. Basically, that's what you can add on using this DVD solo DVD creator. So like I said, I'm gonna use that later. That's for another video, tutorial. But now I'm showing you guys how to burn a disc. I mean, how to burn files on a Blu-ray disc. Like I said, make sure there's plenty of space. Make sure you look at this right here. You see that 22.5 gigabytes. That's how much you can cram in there. If you put any more than that, let's say you put 50 gigs, it's not gonna fit. It'll tell you that you can't burn, and then you'll have to delete anything you put in there. So make sure it'll fit. Make sure it's less than 22.5. For DVDs, I think it's less than 4.5 gigs. DVDs are small, so if you want to go even smaller, you got the good old CDRWs. Those are super small. way small. See, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So you see this is a CDRW compact disc. It only holds 700 megabytes. Woo! You can basically burn music into this. Old school. I don't think people use this anyways. I used to have a CD player, one of those portable CD players that you carry around. You use like AA batteries. You can also plug it in an outlet because it has an adapter. So if you want to use a power supply instead of battery, it has like a socket for that. But these are small as hell. They're like 1/4 the size of a DVD, or less than 1/4. Because 700 gigs is less than 700 megabytes. Yeah, it's pretty small. Because 1,000 megabytes is what, 1 gig. So, I mean, it's pretty small. Just saying. You can store files on this too, but it's just these are CDRWs, by the way. You can write and delete files on this. If you wanna so the CDRs, for example, every time you see the W or the E, well, in this case the CDRWs are rewritable. You can burn files on this and then delete it again. So if it's a CDR without the W, if it's just CDR, like this. CDRs, basically compact disc recordable. They're not rewritable. So if you burn data or music or whatever on a CDR, it's permanent. You can't delete that anymore. So just a little something think about before you. Because like I said, some discs are permanent, some are make sure you don't scratch the discs. Just saying. Make sure you take care of the disc too. If you're dealing with discs and whatever, any discs, Blu-ray, DVD, CDs, whatever kind of disc, even those old laser discs, you don't want to scratch the bottom of those, because despite what people say that, you know, like the bottom part, you don't want to scratch this. You don't want to, you know, lay a finger on this or put any dust or dirt. It's gonna mess it up because it's very sensitive. I don't know why they made it like that, but there's so far every discs I've encountered or dealt with, every time it gets scratched, it has a problem. Skipping problems, corrupted data, you know, skipping. Either the data won't read or the, you know, the laser won't read the disc. It'll say it's not reading it, you know. So you just make sure you take care of the disc. You know, put it in one of these right here. These things right here, you know. It'll just sit there, you know. It's not really gonna do anything. Or one of these, you know, like these things right here, for example. Just one of these CD containers or disc containers. Make sure it's stored somewhere safe. I don't know. But you can store it anywhere as long as it's one of these cases. I'm just saying. It'll last a long time. For example, I've had those CDs way back, like more than 10 years ago, and they're still working. You know. Because this drive right here, for example, this can read CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and M discs, which are Millennium discs. Those are basically like Blu-rays. So, you know, those are the stuff that this thing can read. Yeah, just something interesting to learn about. But if you don't want to deal with CDs and discs, then you can just go ahead and get one of these. You know, USB drives. Just store everything in one of these small things. Just, you know, store movies, pictures, videos, games, whatever. Same thing. Only difference is it's not a rotating disc. It's just a little flash drive, pretty much. Or you can use one of these. If you don't want a flash drive, there's another option. External hard drive. Here you go. You can plug this in. See, because it has a USB in the end. There you go. You got a USB on this side, and then the other end is plugged into the hard disk drive. There you go. You can use that. So, you know, it's your option, you know. Whatever preference you want to use, it's up to you. If you like I said, if you're confident that there's nothing's gonna happen to the files on your computer or laptop, and it'll be there forever, then hey, more power to you. But like I said, me being experienced with these things and having to go through corrupted data and messed up drives, having to replace drives like multiple times over the course of you know tinkering with computers, nope. Recommendation is to back up your data. Just saying. Don't trust your computer's hard drive, because those things have a lifespan maybe of 10 to 20 years at the most. If you're lucky, it could last a long time. Some drives I've heard could last over 40, 50 years even. Maybe 30, 40 at least. Like, you know, I don't know, it deteriorates, but you know, if you see that there's something happening with your drive, for example, it starts slowing down and it's no longer functioning optimally. Let's say it's just it's slow or whatever, you're seeing something wrong, and you're seeing a lot of corruption, like corrupted data, whatever, error, you keep seeing a lot of error messages, then you might want to grab yourself a new storage, hard drive. Just saying, if you prefer another hard drive to replace your, like say you don't want the Blu-ray DVDs or CDs or USB drives or hard drives, or you can even get external solid state drives. Those are pretty fast. So if you don't want a external hard drive, you can get an external solid state drives. Those are way faster read and write speeds. Saying, okay, it's done. If you still want to stick with hard drives, you can just buy yourself either an external or internal hard drive, one that you can put inside your computer or outside. You have successfully burned your files to the disk. Do you want to create another disk using these same files? If you want to do that, you can click the yes, and then you can put another disk and it'll burn these same files. But if you want to finish, just click finish and leave this blank. Don't click on it. So what I'm gonna do is leave it blank and click finish. And now we're done. So now it ejected. Oh, it ejected the disk on its own. See? So there you go. As you can see, that little circly thing in the middle, that's the data that just got burned. So there you go. Let's see. Minimize this. Show you guys what happens if I put the disk back in. So I'm gonna put this back and show you guys that the data is still there. Okay, we're gonna wait. It's gonna read it. See, it's CD drive. It should show up any minute. And it's taking quite a bit of time. It's reading it. There we go, something popped up. There we go. So there you go, it's reading it. There you go, that's what we burned. 3.47 gigs. So there you go. That's how you do it. These are the files I burned. These are the same files over here. These are the ones in my computer. And these are the ones on the disk. So if you want to delete this, go back to this PC. All you gotta do is right click on this CD drive, the one you just burned, and right click on that. And then what you want to do is, let's see, trying to find, just a sec. So what we're gonna do now is delete the disk. Okay, so this is, I was trying to fix it because it didn't show up right. So now it says BDRE, that's the one I burned. So if you want to delete the disk, just right click on this, and then you see you'll have different options right here. It says format, eject, and erase disk. So this will only show up if your disk is a BDRE. Click on erase disk, and then it says ready to erase disk. The wizard is ready to erase the rewritable disk in the drive. After the files have been deleted, you can reuse the disk. If you are sure you want to erase this disk, click next. Otherwise, click cancel. I'm gonna click next. So make sure if you were ready to delete it. Like I said, this will only work if the disk you're using is a Blu-ray BDRE. If it's BD-R, you can't delete it, so it's permanent. So click next. Now it's gonna delete it, erasing all files on the rewritable disk. So there you go. Just gonna wait for a bit. I think it's doing something with the laser, so make sure it's working. Yeah, it's blinking, so it's doing something. So just wait for it. It's either warming it up or doing something. And there you go. It did its thing. It's deleting it. It's basically finalizing the. Now it's deleted. Erase completed successfully. You have erased the files on this disk. You can now burn new files to the disk. Click finish. Now we can use it again. So now we can right click here. Oops. And then eject. See, now it says 22.5 gigs free of 22.5 gigs. So it's empty again. Right click and hit eject. And now it's ready for another burning session. You can put another. That's how you do it. You can, it's blank. Pretty much. So you just put it here if you wanna store it. Put that in there, and then we're gonna, keep it for safekeeping and all that. There's, I'm trying to find the covers. All right. Just make sure you cover it so you protect it from dust and dirt, whatever, because sometimes it gets dusty in your room. You just can't avoid dust. That's just how it is. I'm gonna probably have to vacuum again because it's getting dusty here. But there you go. Now it's safe and nothing to worry about. And then you just close this. See, this is the button right here. And there you go. Pretty good. So far, I'm really liking this LG. I'm having, you know, really enjoying it, messing around with the discs and software. All right, I hope you guys learned something. So that's it. Until the next video. Later.